lot of pain. Jonathan Isaac coming off a left knee injury. Suffered on January the 1st at Washington.
All right, now let's move on to the Orlando Magic, who just missed the lottery. They were the 8th seed last year, made the playoffs despite being 7 games under 500. And to be honest with you, Orlando I think they're in a rough situation. I think that they have a crowded front court, and they're just in a really, really weird situation. It seems like the Mo Bamba situation hasn't really worked out, or maybe he's just not getting the opportunity. I don't know, man. They're just in a tough situation. And when you look at their payroll, you're trying to wonder, like, why is their payroll so high? Or you realize that they're still paying Mozgov. Like, it seems like Timofey, or however you say his name, it seems like Mozgov has been out of the NBA for a long time, and he is still collecting checks from the playoff run in 2015 with LeBron and the Cavs. I mean, that seems like so long ago. And then I have to wonder, like, how do they even get in the situation with Mozgov's contract? He's on their books for a little while longer. Then, Vucevic has a big contract. Aaron Gordon. You have to wonder if he's in their long-term plans. I'm a Blazers fan, and I would be interested in some type of trade where Aaron Gordon ends up in Portland, even though it doesn't really make sense because I wouldn't want Portland to give up CJ McCollum in a deal. That's a whole different story. So, you look at this team and their roster and you wonder, like, what direction are they going in? Do they need to, like, completely tear it down? Because you figure if they were 8th this year, Washington is expected to be better. I really think Chicago will be a better team. And then maybe even Charlotte. Atlanta should be better. So you have to wonder, are they even going to be the 8th seed next year, especially with Jonathan Isaac, who is their best defensive player, expected to miss so much time. So let me get into how I think Orlando could address some team needs through the draft. Like I said, they have the 15th pick, so they just missed the lottery. And if you look at their roster, DJ Augustine is a free agent. Michael Carter-Williams, who had a pretty solid year for them, is also a free agent. Evan Fournier has a player option, which I really doubt that he opts out of that. The front court, you got Vooch, who made the All-Star team. Like I said, Aaron Gordon. And then they paid Aminu last year, who didn't play a lot. I still question that signing. I never understood that signing in the first place. So anyway, where can they get help at in this draft? And so in my opinion, I think they need to draft a guard. Whether they are sold on Markelle Fultz being their long-term point guard is a very tough question to answer. I think Fultz showed flashes of the old Markelle Fultz, the Fultz that made him the number 1 pick. He's still not there yet as far as his jumper. I really think it's hard to be an effective point guard in the NBA if teams are going under on the ball screens. I think that this is a big summer for him if he can extend his range. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what the issue is, which, I'll be honest, nobody really knows. It's been the biggest mystery since he entered the NBA. So I think that they need to go to guard. I know they signed Terrence Ross to a pretty decent contract, and he looks like he'll be there for a while unless they plan on moving him. So I think at number 15, Kyra Lewis could be an option for them. He'll provide speed. He'll be able to, break defenses down. He's actually pretty young. He's one of the younger guards in his class. I want to say, even though he's a sophomore, I want to say some of the players that were freshmen are his age or younger. So I'm high on Lewis. I think that he could possibly move up into a lottery pick, but I really think that he'll be available there. If they want to address shooting, Aaron Nesmith. Dude shot over 50% from 3. And even though he's coming off an injury, I think he would be a really good fit there because I think that the Magic need to, add shooting. You can never have enough shooting in the NBA. So if Nesmith is there, I think that would be a pretty good pick. Yeah, I think in this situation, Orlando needs to swing for the fences. I think that they need to go with the player that has the highest upside, and in my opinion, that's RJ Hampton. He's really tough to compare, but like I mentioned earlier, he's 6'5". He looks like a wing. He has the speed of a point guard. I think the sky's the limit for him. He's really put in the time and worked on his jumper. How him and Fultz could play together, I think it would be an interesting backcourt. I think that they may be short on shooting early on if they decide to play them together. But I definitely think that if Fultz ends up becoming the player that everyone thought he was, and I haven't given up on him, I'm still holding out that Markelle Fultz will be the player that I thought he was going to be out of Washington. But if you can get that version of Fultz along with RJ developing into a consistent outside shooter, then I think that you have a pretty good backcourt as far as length. So I'd understand with Nesmith due to possibly having to replace Fournier, who I just don't know if he'll re-sign in Orlando. I'm not saying it as if like I got some insider information, but I think that he will have some pretty good offers from a contender or a better team. I think if you want to go with defense and just kind of a guy that will be a complementary player, a role player, I think Josh Green could be a pretty good fit. He would provide defense if they want to have a defensive team. So if you want to have a lineup where you are basically locking guys down, I think with Jonathan Isaac's potential and Josh Green playing together, then I think, like I said, you'd have a pretty good defensive group, especially if Mo Bamba ends up developing into the player that I thought he would. Now, he has to play first. I don't know if his lack of playing time is due to the coach losing confidence in him, or he just isn't that good. And I don't know. I mean, Bamba's a guy that I could see probably looking good on his second contract. He may need to change his scenery. Again, it's really, really early to talk about that. But yeah, I just don't know what direction Orlando goes in. I really don't know. I don't know if they make the playoffs again next year, but I really feel like they need to address the situation at guard. Cole Anthony is another name that I haven't brought up. As for Orlando, I think he could be a good fit. I think that he would provide scoring, and he's a good outside shooter. His outside shooting, to me, especially in off-the-ball situations, was really impressive. I think him and Fultz could possibly play together also. I don't know about it being their starting backcourt, but I think that Cole Anthony Orlando could be a good fit. And if you're Orlando, and let's say you do get a Cole Anthony, or he is available, he's a guy that you probably would have thought was going to be a lottery pick and out of your range if you were planning to be a playoff team. So I wouldn't be mad at that choice there either. They could also, now as far as like I said, swinging for the fences, go high upside, Aleksej Polkashevsky. I don't think he's ready to contribute now or right away, but I haven't mentioned him yet in this episode. If you don't know much about Polkashevsky, he's 7 foot, he's skinny as a rail, but man, is he skilled. He can shoot the three. He's like a natural wing in a sense. Like I can't say I've seen anything like him. I haven't seen a 7-footer that just moves as coordinated and as agile as he is. Now, is he ready? Is he ready to contribute right away? No. I think he's a guy that you play in the G League for a year. I do have my questions about, his toughness or whatever. But again, if you're Orlando, you are kind of stuck in no man's land. So you might need to swing for the player with the biggest upside. So Polkashevsky could also be an option there. But Orlando, like Washington, is in a tough situation. And, for a guy like myself who has always dreamed of being like a general manager of an NBA team, and now that I've kind of like put the pressure on myself and talking in front of a camera and trying to fix these teams through the draft, I see how tough it is. And it's not like if I make a mistake, my job is depending on it. So from Orlando, I'm giving this year one more try. I'm going to address my need at point guard. I think Kira Lewis would probably be the best pick. But if I'm not confident that I can make the playoffs anytime soon, then I'm swinging for the fences, and I think I would go with RJ Hampton. But again, I wouldn't be shocked to see them go with Cole Anthony or Aleksej Polkashevsky. Josh Green, would probably be my last choice out of the players that I've mentioned. Orlando Magic, tough choice to make. But yeah, definitely adding a guard in this draft if I'm Orlando.